Welcome to Lawyers Who Care, the video show podcast that highlights attorneys who go above and beyond for their clients. And on each episode, we will meet a new lawyer and they will share stories of when they went beyond legal counsel for the benefit of their client. My name is Andrew Samalin. I'm the principal of Samalin Wealth, a nationally recognized wealth management firm for lawyers, their firms, and their families. And let's applaud Lawyers Who Care and learn from them. Today, my guest is Seth Wilson. He is a partner with Morris, Wilson, Knepp, and Jacquette. They're based in Pennsylvania, and Seth litigates claims on behalf of plaintiffs who have been critically injured or companies involved in complex business disputes. And welcome, Seth.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, Seth, tell us about what brought you to the law.
Well, I was always interested in legal matters, but I never thought I was going to go to law school really until my senior year of college. I was an international affairs major, and I really enjoyed learning. I always liked that. And so I thought, well, rather than get a job, maybe I'll try to go to law school. That seems pretty diverse in terms of career paths that it could take me. And when I went to law school, having been an international affairs major, I thought I was going to get into international business, international finance. And then I found trial advocacy in my second year of law school and really found a passion for that. It was one of those things where I felt like I could sort of be myself and sort of, craft a persona in terms of how I would, present matters and advocate on behalf of people in a courtroom setting. Now 20 plus years later, I've gotten to take that out into the real world, not just in a trial advocacy class, but in courtrooms in Pennsylvania, New Jersey. I get to learn every day new areas of law, of medicine, of corporate activities, of products. And then I get to really advocate for people who I care about. And I get to practice at a firm that I'm really proud of and get to work with really great people.
And how did those people come together?
Well, I started as a summer intern at the firm that I'm currently at way back 20 plus years ago when I was in law school. And 10 years later, I was a named partner in the firm and, have joined together with some other colleagues. And there's 4 of us who are partners in the firm. We then have our support staff as well. And our firm really focuses, it's not a quantity practice. We're not a volume practice. We really focus on quality over quantity. So we try to take what we think are really significant cases, and then we try to nurture the case, build a really strong case for our client. A lot of the folks that we represent have gone through probably the worst experience of their life or for a loved one's life. Unfortunately, we handle a lot of cases involving wrongful deaths. And so we feel it's a real, responsibility of ours to make the most of that case for that client. We handle product liability matters, where we're litigating claims against big companies, relating to unsafe products. We do a lot of medical malpractice, which certain studies show that's actually the 3rd leading cause of death in the United States is medical negligence and errors. And in these types of cases, we are in it with our clients. It's all contingency fee work. So that means we take a big risk when we take on these cases, but we are in it with our clients. We feel sort of married to the process with them. Because we do what I think is really high level legal work at my firm, that allows us to, make a difference in our clients' lives and then also the larger community itself. We really have a strong culture of service at our firm. And
so when we started, prior to getting on camera, we had chatted about, well, do we want to talk about process? Do we want to talk about, a particular case? You want to share a great client story?
Sure. I have one that's really stuck with me. It's now about 16 years ago is when this happened. I met a woman, it had been referred to me by another attorney, and I went to meet this woman and talk to her. She had just lost her son, who was 22 years old. That was her only child, and her husband had tragically died of cancer about 5 years before. So she was just distraught. And I remember talking to her and saying, I understand how you feel. And she berated me and yelled at me, no, you don't know how I feel. It's the last time I've ever said that to a client because I didn't know how she felt at the time. And the case was really tragic. Her son had been in a car
By the
accident.
way, you'll forgive me, Seth. Despite your, the intention that you had, which was to empathize, she was 100% correct, but you were absolutely well-meaning in that comment.
For sure. My intentions were good, but I don't think I truly at that point understood, and I can't understand, what she went through. And I've sort of taken that with me as I have practiced over the years with other clients who have had, something really tragic happen. You truly can't understand exactly what it is that they're feeling. You have to empathize with them in different ways. And the way I think that my role is not even so much to empathize, but it's to really solve a problem for them and get them justice and make sure that someone's going to bat for them. So in this situation, her son had been in a car accident. His girlfriend had been drinking, and it was a one vehicle accident. And after the accident, he was out walking around the scene, but he had hit his head. And rather than drive him to the nearest emergency room, the paramedics decided to put him into a helicopter and fly him down to Philadelphia, about 20 minutes away. And by the time he got to Philadelphia, he was unresponsive and he died just a few minutes after getting to the hospital. And when I originally got the case as a medical malpractice case, what the expert had told me is that, well, they should have given him another medication when he was coding after his heart had already stopped. And I'll never forget the sort of aha moment I had the night before I took the key deposition. I realized actually there was big mistakes that were made beforehand, and they had intubated him so that he wouldn't be thrashing around on the helicopter because he was upset. He didn't want to go on the helicopter. When they intubate someone in that situation, it takes away his ability to breathe on his own. And the problem with that was that they had not turned on what's called an end-tidal CO2 machine that measures the amount of carbon dioxide that's coming out of his mouth. They'd never turned it on. And so they didn't realize until just before they got to the hospital that, in fact, the tube was not in his lungs. It was in the wrong spot. And so what ultimately happened was he died of asphyxiation. He didn't get any oxygen. And we figured that out. And so ultimately the case then proceeded from that point in a much stronger fashion. And on the first day of jury selection, the case settled. And I'll never forget the hug that my client gave me as she was sobbing, just so happy that somebody had gone to bat for her and had, righted a wrong. Her son was never coming back, but at least it was some semblance of justice for her, that this never should have happened.
Everyone, today my guest is Seth Wilson. He is a partner at Morris, Wilson, Knepp, and Jacquette. Seth, can you provide our audience with your contact information twice?
Sure. So our firm, we have two offices. One's in Conshohocken, one's in Philadelphia. Conshohocken's a suburb of the Philadelphia area. Our telephone number at our firm is 610-825-0500. And our website is www.morriswilson.com. Gotcha. Again, that's 610-825-0500 and the website www.morriswilson.com.
This has been the Lawyers Who Care video show podcast that highlights attorneys who go above and beyond for their clients. Seth is a perfect example. If you're an attorney or know one that does go above and beyond, feel free to reach out to us, 914-666-6600. Number again, 914-666-6600. Seth, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.